Hey, what's going on, folks? We're going to give just a short overview of Israel-Palestine ahead of Trump's meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And so here's part of the story that you didn't hear. So from Israel's perspective, one of the necessary considerations prior to coming to Palestinian perspectives is that there's always a question about what level of sovereignty or authority you can accept, the types of issues which are included, and who's involved in negotiations on the Hamas side. And one of the concerns Israel would have is looking at a place like Lebanon and saying, look, it's very clear that you have what we would deem to be extreme Islamic schools, which support your geopolitical agenda. And so when you have to have people with guns to maintain control, and you are sort of funneling people into this radical ideology of theocratic rule through force, and it also appears that you're attempting to spread this style of government through the region. It makes something like tiered diplomacy or a tiered ceasefire deal more difficult. And from the Palestinian perspective, or perhaps the perspective of Hamas, you could say, well, look, we see a lot of those same characteristics in Israel. And so when Hamas and Palestine is bringing issues to the table, and you are trying to contextualize the violence of October 7th, one of the things that people may look at is that, well, it is the case that geopolitics has been collapsing on weaker states with Arab or Muslim populations in the region. And so when you are saying that all of violence is a result of, radical, Islamist ideology in the political sense, you are negating or just completely leaving out some of the sort of core issues. And so when you are looking and actually understanding like a group like Al-Qassam or Hezbollah, one of the perspectives is that obviously, these are sort of mortal enemies, and as much as it's good and strategic for Israel to combat those, Palestine probably already knows this. Hamas knows this. But this is also sort of going over some of the cultural diversity. Again, when we look at this layer of culture and you say that, well, this culture has to also be about those same sort of material things that both Israelis and Americans totally understand. Again, it sort of probably makes, there's all kinds of hackneyed phrases, but it's a tough road to walk.